There's a war happening right now, not with bombs or tanks or soldiers in the streets, but with code. It's a war you'll never see on the evening news, a conflict fought in silence, across invisible borders, in rooms filled with glowing screens and people whose names you'll never know. This is the hidden hacker war, and it's already changing the world. For most of history, wars were fought over land, power, or ideology. But in the 21st century, the battlefield has shifted. Today, control over information is power. Control over systems, power grids, banks, communication networks, means control over nations themselves. And as the world moved online, so did warfare. The story begins quietly in the early 2000s, when world powers started to realize that the internet wasn't just a tool, it was a weapon. Computers were no longer simple machines. They were gateways into governments, defense systems, and the very infrastructure that kept modern life running. Somewhere deep inside the intelligence agencies of the United States and Israel, a plan began to take shape. Its code name was Olympic Games. The mission was simple on paper: stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. But instead of airstrikes or troops, they chose something far more precise and invisible. They would build a weapon made entirely of code. The result was stuxnet, one of the most sophisticated pieces of malware ever created. It didn't announce itself with explosions or alarms. It slipped quietly into Iranian networks, hiding inside ordinary-looking files, spreading from computer to computer until it reached one very specific target: the Natanz nuclear facility. There, thousands of uranium enrichment centrifuges spun at dizzying speeds, refining fuel for what Iran claimed was a peaceful energy program. Stuxnet was designed to destroy them, not by shutting them off, but by making them destroy themselves. It altered their speed ever so slightly, too small to notice, but enough to cause damage. To the operators watching their screens, everything looked normal. But deep inside the machines, metal began to twist. Bearings overheated, and within weeks, over 1,000 centrifuges were ruined. Iran's nuclear ambitions were set back years, and not a single missile had been launched. When experts finally discovered Stuxnet, they were stunned. It was a cyber weapon unlike anything the world had ever seen. It didn't steal data. It didn't crash systems. It caused real, physical destruction, all from behind a keyboard. The age of digital warfare had officially begun, and every nation on Earth was taking notes. In the years that followed, the world's most powerful countries began building their own cyber armies. Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, all saw the potential. Cyber warfare was cheaper, faster, and cleaner than traditional conflict. You could cripple your enemy's infrastructure without firing a shot, and if you were caught, you could simply deny everything. It was the perfect weapon for a world that had become dependent on technology. The first major test came in 2007, when Estonia, a small but highly digital nation, found itself under attack. It started after a political disagreement with Russia over a Soviet-era monument. Within hours, Estonian websites began to crash. Government servers went offline, banks couldn't process payments, and media outlets stopped broadcasting. The entire country's digital life froze. No missiles were launched, but the effect was the same: chaos. That attack marked the beginning of a new kind of warfare, one that would only grow more aggressive with time. By 2017, the world witnessed something even more devastating. A piece of malware called NotPetya began spreading rapidly through Ukraine. At first, it looked like ransomware, demanding a few $100s in Bitcoin. But this wasn't about money. Once activated, NotPetya wiped data permanently. Hospitals, airports, and shipping companies were paralyzed. Then it jumped borders, hitting global giants like Maersk and FedEx, causing over $10 billion in damage. Cybersecurity experts traced it back to Russia. It wasn't a robbery, it was a warning. Iran, too, joined the cyber battlefield. In 2012, Iranian hackers unleashed the Shamoon virus on Saudi Aramco, one of the world's largest oil companies. Within hours, 30,000 computers were wiped clean, their hard drives replaced with an image of a burning American flag. Operations stopped, data vanished, and the attack sent a clear message. This war wasn't just between governments. Corporations were now targets too. Over time, the digital battlefield expanded. It wasn't just about destroying machines anymore. It was about controlling narratives, manipulating information, and eroding trust. This is Data Heist. The dark side of data. Subscribe for more digital heists from the dark side of our connected world.